Whatever we may debate about, it is the legacy this city has that cannot be denied. TNN January 1, 2018, 11:52 ist. I hope the old year was good for you. I trust you survived the travails and pitfalls of life and moved on to a new chapter in your book of living. Take a step back, though. Whose New Year is it? A Western concept. This New Year, celebrated on the first day of January, has nothing to do with the many different New Years at different times of the year we have in India. In fact, it is a celebration appropriated by the Christian faith from the Romans. Today, it is just a commonly accepted day internationally, closely related to banks and finance. Oh yes, also New Year's Eve parties, excessive food and drink, and retail greed. We follow the Gregorian calendar as a common guideline to our days. The Hindu and Islamic calendars are used for religious rituals and practice. The Gregorian calendar was earlier the Julian calendar, an invention of Julius Caesar. He too tweaked the ancient Roman calendar, which followed the lunar cycle, do solar. Janus, the mythological Roman god of gates, transitions, time, had the honor of the first month. Julius gave himself the month of July and his successor, Augustus, the month following. However, because of a flaw in Julius' astronomers' mathematics, January 1st kept shifting ahead, making it unpopular and people ceasing to celebrate the first day of the year. Some centuries later, the Roman Catholic pontiff Gregory XIII had an astronomer do precise calculations, thereby giving us the solar cycle calendar we now follow, including leap years to account for a fraction of a day, plus some lunar followings to keep it all balanced. Hindu calendars, by contrast, normally follow the lunar cycle, though the Malayalam one looks to the sun to enumerate the days. Many non-Western cultures have lunisolar calendars to take care of the vicissitudes of these, computed at a time when life was agrarian. The Islamic calendar, though, uses the moon alone. Calendar computation. It's a pretty complex science, this calendar computation. All our living seems to be dictated by these sequential dates and the significance attached to them. We assign them rituals, festivals and the like to help us acknowledge the often unknown power of nature and its regular unpredictability, and the fragility of our human existence. It is probably out of such realization that the practice of New Year resolutions came into being. We alleviate our spirits by making vows and promises with steely resolve to a divinity, adjust to oneself things we have every intention of doing, even allowing ourselves forgiveness when we don't. I'm guessing annual resolution making has been ancient human praxis. The midnight mass in the churches, which non-Christian celebrants often flock to, are called watch night services. They are specific occasions when Christians spend the hours before midnight to reflect, pray, listen to inspirational sermons and song, and resolve to do better as an individual, essentially to be better human beings. Obviously there are many out there who stick to their resolutions, who follow through, achieving personal gain. And there are those who don't, who promise to do better next time around. Or those who do not find the need to make resolutions. Resolutions can morph into wishes. A wish is an easier subject to deal with if it remains unfulfilled, since a resolution demands active fulfillment, putting too much pressure on our ability to achieve. These, though, are personal. The obligation to achieve is our own. What about as citizens? Is paying taxes more than enough? A recent post on social media by a gentleman named Saikut Ghosh has given many of us reason to feel immensely proud of our city. Here's what the post has to say. Love you, Kolkata. Here, Hindus stand in queue to buy cakes from a Jewish bakery made by Muslim chefs to celebrate a Christian festival. First resolution as citizens, that should be our first and only resolution. To continue to support, sustain and advance the singular reputation that Calcutta has always had, a fine sense of tolerance, the complete acceptance and integration of our plurality. Someone once unkindly remarked that Calcutta has nothing going for it other than nostalgia. Someone else said it was a good thing that's changed in Calcutta because nothing else did. That is not criticism, that is our strength. Whatever we may debate about, it is the legacy this city has and that cannot be denied. This sense derived from being citizens of a very unique human agglomeration that manages to hold things together when it is all falling apart elsewhere. It is what makes Calcutta, Kolkata, what it is. I want to the obvious and tell you of songs about the new year or anything like that. The brief, incomplete list below, in no particular order, is some recent music I have been listening to by musicians I first heard 40 and more years ago. They are all alive, mostly in their 70s and more, and were deservedly famous in their heydays. Today their new songs come out of the years lived, the experiences had and the complete confidence to be at peace with themselves. It seems to be mirrored in the album names somehow. Chris Rea, the famous 1989 Road to Hell singer, released Road Songs for Lovers this year. David Crosby, once of CSNY, brought out Sky Trails. Alice Cooper, Paranormal Van Morrison, Roll with the Punches Eric Clapton, I Still the Living Colour, Shade Neil Young, once of CSNY, Peace Trails Paul Simon, of Simon Garfunkel, Stranger to Stranger, Patrick SLGHOSE. Get latest news live updates on the go on your PC with News app. Download the Times of India News app for your device. Related critics to Neon journalist data Babel Dollar Shave Club Thief professional trafficking whiff as youth returns from Gujarat after 10 years transfer orders by Bharati revoked teen boy death parents question suicide claim.